Hello, holiday adventurers, and welcome to Grognard and Friends. Your friendly neighborhood Grognard here, and I'm coming to you from the secret underground bunker between worlds, far beneath scenic Grognard gables, where along with my friends, we play a little game we know as Dungeons and Dragons. We hope all of you that reside here in the States were able to enjoy friends and family this Thanksgiving. And for all of our friends, we wish you a happy, healthy, and safe holiday season. We look forward to enjoying it with you as the friends continue their adventures. Now, before we start, a quick announcement. The weekend of December 10th to the 12th, that's not this coming Sunday, but the next one, all of us here at Grognard and Friends will be attending PAX Unplugged here in Philadelphia. So if you see us, please make a point of stopping us and saying hello. We'd love to meet you. Also, due to possible traveling delays, we may be short a player that Sunday. So now, let's check in with the friends and start this week's episode of Grognard and Friends. When last we left our friends, they had finally exited the mysterious house on the bitch and made it safely back to the western districts, only to have Butt Trumpet gobnapped from right under their noses. Reed immediately followed, but was waylaid by an alley filled with snow and ice. But this didn't slow our Reed down much as he made it over the would-be glacier like a pork pie hat-wearing mountain goat and soon was back on the heels of the gobnappers, narrowly avoiding a sword to the head as he came around a corner and carefully navigating busy streets and alleys. Reed soon had one of the gobnappers cornered. A fight ensued with Reed dominating, but the adversary would not yield. Realizing he was alone, Reed retreated a little to get the attention of his friends, and in so doing his adversary made his escape, but not without his battle scars to remind him how he had been best by the diminutive thief, a beating that he would not soon forget. So friends, you have finally gathered back together in the streets just north of the market. It is mid to late afternoon. What do you do?
Guards? Colonnade?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Let's go report that to them.
A godnapping. Report the godnapping.
Yeah.
It sounds like Reed wrote that recap. He sounded really damn heroic.
Yes, let's go. Let's go report that gobnapping.
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to head towards the colonnade?
Da.
Yeah.
Eldred says, you go ahead. I'm not convinced they're not still around here a little bit. I'm going to look around, keep an eye on, and ask a few people if they've seen anything to get an idea so we know where we might be able to continue this search. Okay, but you go to the colonnade. That sounds like a good place to start. Okay.
I was just saying it was a good idea.
Oh, okay. I would bet good money the prick Mamulian might be behind this.
Oh yeah, their old employer.
Eldred says, that's a really good point.
Especially after blowing up her current employer's tower.
Mm-hmm. Well, all right. I guess yes. So, Eldred, you'll meet us back at Stone's Throw once you're.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
All right.
I'll be searching until I find at least something out. So.
Yes.
Please promise you'll meet us there, Eldred.
Oh, I promise. Don't worry, I'll be there.
We just lost two
we can't lose any more friends.
Want to lose the third.
Yes.
Well, thank you. That's very nice to hear, and I will make sure I do so. And you've touched me, so I will buy first round. So you'll have even more incentive for me to be there.
Phrase. Phrasing. Always got to be about the phrasing.
Okay, so you start heading towards the colonnade. It takes a good while. The streets are really busy. Someone, any of you, roll me a 20-sider, please.
I'm going to say not me.
You want me to do it, Chris?
Go right ahead, bud. If you have it up, I'm waiting for the page to load.
All right. Just gonna do it as a 4.
Okay. During the course, everyone who can, give me a perception roll, please.
Are there some of us who can't?
Well, I know Chris was having a hard time bringing the page up, so.
Let's try in the roll now. There you go. Does that register? Yes, it did.
Okay.
15 for me.
Okay.
8 and 4 for me and Nikita.
In the course of making it down that way, Gaius, you, the only thing, it's really, the streets are really busy, they're bustling. The few things that you notice are, there seem to be a lot less horses going around. The carriages and the carts and things like that, you still see a few of. Mainly the taxi type carts, not so much what the farmers would use, but carts use, carriages more so. And you also have seen a couple bunnies here and there, like running down an alley or across the street or sitting on a pile of produce somewhere, just nibbling away at something.
An infestation of rabbits.
So you get down towards the colonnade, and you're about ready to step out onto it when, to one side, you do hear the bell of the town crier coming down here, and you do get the beginning of what you heard before, up near, closer to the market, but you know that you would come upon the town crier kind of mid-cry, as it were. But this time you actually are going to be able to hear the beginning of it. They start off with their "oh yay, oh yay, oh yay," and get right into it. To which they state, "The recent arrival of thousands of multicolored rabbits within the western districts has perplexed officials and frustrated shop owners. Is this someone's idea of a joke? Is it a shipment from some far-off land whose packaging has been mishandled and damaged, thereby releasing these creatures? Are they dangerous? The grocers within the market seem to think so. Or is this some strange cross-contamination and byproduct of the equus noro sickness? Still others see the appearance of these creatures as an ill omen. One woman, a merchant from the market, says that she knows where the creatures have come from. She says that she experienced it herself, and she will forever be scarred by the sight of it. According to the woman, it was a typical day in the market when she was handling the business of her stall in the marketplace when a demon child entered her market stall. Thinking the child lost, she offered her kindness and tried to help the child, only for them to transform into a giant blue demon with fiery eyes in a burst of smoke and brimstone. The demon cursed the woman and then swelled up and right before her gave birth to the multitude of creatures right there at her base. The woman says that she fainted, so she doesn't know anything else except that when she awoke, much of her wares and her cash box were missing. She has appealed to the market masters and the people of Seven Rivers for recompense, as she now fears becoming destitute. Also, as a result of the ban on horses entering the city, many horses have been abandoned outside the city walls and left to roam the countryside. Officials urge travelers to take responsibility for their livestock and not to abandon them." And then it goes on to what you heard before.
Well, free horses.
Sounds like a good idea to go get some.
Corpses, maybe, if you know a way to cure them.
I think I could probably take a whack at it.
I would hope so.
But also, that whole blue creature thing, we kind of.
Da.
Luckily, most of that's fake. So.
Hopefully, people just think she's talking out of her butt. No
Oh,
pun
totally.
intended.
Yeah.
That was
okay.
That was like a triple pun. That was
about to
where
say.
the bunnies came from. So, yeah.
Okay, so you head across the colonnade towards the barracks, I assume.
Yes.
Okay. You see the guard standing out front, and the one that you've come to recognize now, who always seems to be there, with a shorter, stouter young man who seems to have a large scar across his one cheek that ends at the corner of his mouth. And the one with the scar says, "Halt, what's your business?" And the other guard looks at you and then looks at it and goes, "Don't worry about them, I got it. I'll be right back." Goes inside and soon
Thank you kindly.
the one with the scar seems very perplexed and just kind of eyes you up and down. And soon the other one comes out with Captain Moses, and followed quickly by Quartermaster Ironwill.
Well, greetings. I bear ill tidings. Sorry, usually we have somebody else interact with you guys. Sorry, I'm usually
probably best if it's you.
I'm used to react. I have to talk to nobles a lot. Sorry. Okay. Yes. Our most recent addition to our group has been gobnapped. Is that the right word?
Did they say, excuse me?
Yeah,
Got
right?
that.
Kidnapped.
Kidnapped.
Yes.
You've had someone kidnapped.
Correct. Remember we had that conversation. It's the newest party member, the little blue one.
Oh, the little blue person.
Goblet.
Mhm.
The goblet. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. You sure they just didn't get lost, or maybe you misplaced them?
Oh no, I would
The
first
guard
yes,
says
but
maybe the guard who went back to get him says maybe you left them in your other pants.
aha. Why would you say it like that?
Octavia Ironwill looks at him and he goes, "Sorry," and just goes back to minding his own business.
That's what I thought.
I think you would know if you had a 2-foot goblet in your pants.
The
No
guard
comment.
just smirks and just says,
Smart man. We saw them taken away. People in cloaks.
"Oh," and
I fought one.
where was this?
The market, yes?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wow,
just north
okay.
of. Yeah.
Around
Reed starts trying to describe all the alleys. He's like, we went left and then right, and then there was this building, and there was a road to the right, and I went straight and then right, and then.
How about
All those things did
the
happen.
part where you talked to one and fought with him?
Yeah,
So
that
you-
was the one on the right with the door. There was a door.
Okay. Could you show one of our guards where this was? If we send a guard with you?
Certainly.
Okay. Okay. Octavia Ironwill says, I'll go. And Moses says, "Really?" She goes, yeah, I'm a little bored at the moment, so yeah, this will be great. I get to get out a little bit. He goes, okay. I can have one of the lesser rank go. No. I got it. If it's by the market on my way back, I can pick some stuff up. He just looks at her and is like, okay. He says, before you go, any other news to report?
Oh gosh. We went into that. What?
Go ahead.
We found the location of that weird house we were talking about.
Yes, yeah, we had talked about that.
So no kids in there. That's the good news.
Okay.
We've ruled that out as a possibility. Just want to pass that along. There's a bunch of other nonsense, but nothing relating to the kidnappings that we're currently
Well, that's good to know. Very
Yep.
good to know.
But would really like to look for our friend right now. So I think
We lost another friend in the house.
Da.
Or he just went for a walk. We're not really sure. He's more capable of,
Okay.
but Trumpet's kind of still learning the ropes of the world, I guess is the best way to put it.
I kind of gathered that when I met them.
We saw them physically get kidnapped, which is a real clue that they're definitely in trouble.
Yes.
There
Okay.
is a concern with the house. You don't have. It looked like some people were still using it occasionally. If there
Like
is a way,
vagrants or
possibly not. I think some people are trying to resurrect or play act whatever used to happen there, supposedly. The main problem, though, is the basement.
the basement. What's in the basement?
Thousands of corpses.
They both kind of like take a step like, excuse me? What?
Some of them are
People-
still juicy. It was gross.
Exactly. So perimeter, warning people. I don't know what guards normally do, or you just hope people don't go in. But there's a lot of dead people in the basement from a long time ago and new.
Okay, so we think kids may be going in there and doing stuff, but there's also stuff in the basement.
No,
Ah,
no kids. And out of character, correct me if I'm wrong, Paul. There was no bodies of children down there, right?
Correct.
Okay. Just had to clarify that I make sure I wasn't speaking out of my ass. Yeah, no kids in there that we found. No evidence.
maybe, or
That I can't
dumbasses?
confirm or
I wouldn't say kids, though.
Okay.
There's something in there that is not good or is using the place for not good.
Well,
So if you had if you've had other disappearances of adults, maybe there,
Yeah.
but not the kids.
okay.
There
Huh.
might be ghosts too.
Okay. The
Nikita
ghosts
got
and the
attacked
play
by a bug.
acting, I'm not so worried about, but the phrase "thousands of bodies" does concern me, says Moses.
Very concerning.
Yeah. Looks at Ironwell and says, why don't we send a squad over there? Sounds good to me.
Oh, if you do that, the bodies and stuff, basement,
Uh-huh.
and if you try going up the main flight of stairs, there seem to be some kind of magical defenses. A rug that will smother you, and the suits of armor might try to attack you. We didn't trigger that until we actually walked up the stairs. Just letting you know.
Okay.
The central set of stairs. Also,
And
Warn your
when we
people.
left, all the suits turned into one giant suit.
Oh, I forgot about the giant suit thing. Okay. Oh.
What about these oversized clothes? What?
Oversized clothes?
Giant suit.
Suit of armor.
Oh, of armor.
That's right. Yeah. Once we defeated it, it kind of made itself bigger.
Back up.
Yeah. But also, if that is not there and maybe it reset itself, I don't know how their magic works in there. There's a lot of the rooms have mirrors in them. Be careful looking in them because they're all magical in nature and they do different things to different people.
Thousands
Should
of
we be writing
corpses.
this down?
I think we should write all this
Can we
down,
write
right?
this down
Maybe we should-
for you? It's kind of a lot.
Huh.
Well, not now. We have to go get Butt Trumpet.
Or we
There's
could
also
send
that.
some guards to their death while we just not tell them. I mean, it really. I want to go.
No,
look
we don't
too.
want to do the last part. We are friends with the guards.
That's what I mean.
Like-
So let's give them as much information as possible quickly.
Okay.
Well, I didn't know they wanted to go.
Should we
magic
split up?
armor, thousands of bodies, magic
very least hundreds.
mirrors.
Correct. Oh,
And
and,
the rug
something
that-
kind of. Oh, we're forgetting the creepy thing in the attic.
Don't
Whatever
tell me
that was.
We don't even know what that was.
And a creepy thing in the attic.
Yeah, it sealed off part of the attic with this fleshy kind of spider web looking material.
Flesh, like his flesh, not like my flesh.
Yeah. So the house is
Pretty jacked up.
intense. So if you do want to go there, make sure. I mean, you should be able to open the door, and if you see a giant suit of armor, you might just want to not do that until you have some assistance from a mage of some higher power around here. I don't know. Do you guys get help magically from anyone?
Not usually, but we can request it. But I think we'll send the
Request it.
squad to kind of do a preliminary investigation.
Yeah, scout it out.
Yeah. Marcus. And the guard that has come to recognize all of you says, "Yes, sir." He goes, gather a squad together and go investigate that house. He goes, "Yes. Is this house in the fog?"
Duh.
Oh yeah.
And he looks at Moses and says, and Moses says, "Do you have a problem with that?" He goes, no, sir. Right away. Can Bigglesworth come with me? And all of a sudden, the guy with the scar kind of looks at him wide-eyed and is like, "Yeah, gee, thanks." And Moses goes, "Yeah, just get a squad together and go right away. It's getting late." "Yes, sir." And he goes, and when you go in there to get your stuff, send out 2 more sentries for the door. "Yes, sir." And they quickly go in and.
Marcus, don't forget to bring soap.
He looks back over his shoulder and is like,
Yes, we smelled it to high heavens afterwards.
"You kind of still do, actually, because you haven't made it back to bathe yet."
Oh yeah. This is what you have to look forward to. Apologize in advance.
It's like a really twisted Mentos commercial.
Yeah. Ugh.
Okay, Moses looks at you and Iron Will. They both kind of are looking at you strangely, like
What?
they're just looking at you a little differently.
Weird shit happens.
Like-
We know. Who's going?
Like we're insane, kind of looking at us differently, or that we're just kind of rolling with these horrific things casually.
Give me an insight check.
Aha, something else. Let's see. Dust off the old insight check, huh? Where the hell is that at? There we go. I look into their souls and they tell me everything that I need to know.
Well, that's not exactly how this works, but it's a good insight check roll you have there, young man.
Then please
Look into
elaborate.
their souls.
Man, I'm a cleric.
Okay, Dan and Cheryl, please take off your headphones or earbuds or whatever you use, please.
Okay.
Chris, excuse me, Gaius.
We are one and the same, yes.
Yes. You're not far off. What you've told them, you get the feeling it seems a little hard to believe is the impression you get from these looks.
Mm-hmm.
You also get the feeling that they're struggling with that because over the past few times that they've dealt with you, they've kind of come to respect you a little bit. So to hear these things, which sounds like some of the raving lunatics that come up to them periodically, they're having a hard time not sure what to make of it. So they're just kind of taking it all in, but they are having a little bit of a hard time with all of this.
Gotcha.
Is the impression you get with a 20 on your die. He says, Moses says, okay, so we're going to send a squad over there to check that out.
Captain,
Octavia...
I want to apologize. Captain, I want to apologize. I know this sounds unbelievable. Believe me, when we were in there, and even now when I had come up, I was hesitant to relate the details because, I mean, let's be honest. It sounds insane.
That's
it was insane
kind of
when we were in there. Yes. But if you and I was hesitant to bring up a lot of the detail, but once we heard that you were sending people there, we wanted them to be protected because it's
not fun.
It's a little no. So just that's why. And to be quite honest, like I wish I was wrong. But I appreciate you trusting us.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what this squad turns up.
I hope they turn back up.
So, yeah. In the meantime, what is your next step as far as locating the missing children?
Well, I want to see if we can find Butt Trumpet. That's the immediate to see if we can add them to the number. Nikita, yes.
I was thinking the guards might know multiple entrances to the sewers.
Well, we used to years ago, but many of them have been damaged by the way the ground in the eastern districts has settled and changed over the years. So many of them are not accessible anymore. And there are ones in areas that we, due to certain
with tentacles
prohibitions, we're not allowed to go near.
Are you certain prohibitions in relation to maybe some people of shady nature controlling an area of town, or something from coming from high up, saying you're not allowed to go there?
Correct.
The second one.
We are limited in what we can do in the eastern districts, unfortunately.
Okay.
Oh.
at our level, we don't really know much of the details of it. All we know is we are limited in what we can do and where we can go and when we can go there. In the case of a statement like thousands of bodies, I feel safe in sending a squad to that house without proper authorization.
Ah, okay.
I don't think there will be any argument on that. But as far as accessing certain other areas, we're just prohibited from doing so.
You're prohibited. Are we prohibited as contractors?
Moses is about to say something, and Octavia puts her hand in front of his face and says, "I didn't hear a thing you said. I don't know anything about it."
Oh.
And
No.
Moses looks at her, and she looks at him, and he goes, "Yes, I don't know anything."
So, okay, if we're going to continue about not knowing things, could we get directions and ways to access places you don't know about that we could then gain access to
Octavia
the sewers
turns to
that
you
way?
and says, I'm having a
Hypothetically.
hard time understanding you, but maybe if we clear the air on our walk up for you to show me by the market what happened, we can discuss that then.
Oh, yes, no. We'll discuss some hypothetical things. Thank you, Captain Moses.
Oh,
your assistance in
he
time.
looks at Octavia Ironwill and says, "You are so welcome." And she looks at him like,
You're both my favorite.
Moses just kind of shakes his head and is like, "Good luck." And about this time, two more guards come out. One is a older dwarven gentleman, and the other is somewhere between 6 and 7 feet tall, built like a brick outhouse. And, you know, Moses and Octavia turn as they come out, and he just kind of looks at Octavia and smiles, and you catch the sunlight just kind of glint off his teeth and the sparkle of his eyes, and just stands there.
Flowing hair again.
Yeah. Kind of, except, you know, it's been pulled back. But,
Right.
you know, obviously, you can imagine he would be on the posters for Join the City Guard. A wonderful life.
Exactly.
All the
2 years
toothpaste and hair gel you could possibly ever want.
Don't
I
confuse
don't-
them, though.
It's a long shot, but I don't recognize the dwarf. He doesn't.
Give me a perception check.
Oh,
It's tough to tell. He has that well-traveled, grizzled older dwarf look, like so many of the dwarfs that knew your father and such. He certainly looks similar to a lot of dwarves that you don't have very positive memories of.
Nah. I
He
give
just
him a
kind
little
of-
bit of a, how you doing?
He just kind of sniffles and says, kind of tilts his head and looks at you and, "Good day,
This is
milady."
a friendly dwarf greeting. We don't hug. This is what we do. And the tall one, what's your name, big fella?
He takes a moment, kind of puffs out his chest, looks at you and says, "Daryl."
Daryl. That is an excellent name for an extremely tall guard with nice teeth. intimidatingly nice teeth. Okay, we need to go.
The dwarf kind of chuckles, looks up at him and says, "Happens every time."
Walk with
Guards
Othalia.
have a great dental plan.
The guy just kind of looks around like, "What?" Huh?
As soon as we
Nothing, Daryl.
As soon as we start to walk away, Reed kind of grabs Gaius's arm, and he's kind of like, "What are we talking about that we don't know about, that we're not supposed to talk about or know about?"
Oh, we're gonna get info on the sly. Wait, do you know what that word means? Right?
Absolutely.
You got sly?
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, okay.
I got
there
it.
you go.
All right.
Yeah. We're not supposed to know this information, but we're gonna get it anyway.
Ah. So Iron Will's gonna tell us? Cool. Okay. Got it.
We'll get you there, buddy. We'll get you there, buddy.
Slowly
I'll
but
make a
surely.
thief of you yet. Wait.
You see Moses kind of shake his head, turn around, and just go in the barracks. And Octavia looks at you and says, "Well, to market."
Yep.
Follow me. Let's go.
Okay. And takes you a good amount of time to get there, as you well know. Although it does seem a little easier because she stands right up next to you, Reed, and is going with you. And as she goes up the street, you do notice that the crowds tend to part for her a little bit. And in all of your times going back and forth, you've never had anything like that before. So whereas normally it would take like an hour and a half to 2 hours, you probably make it there easily in an hour, I'd say. So along that hour,
If she's next to me, Paul,
yes,
one of the first things Reed says is, as soon as they're away from the other guards or whatnot, those bunnies, by the way, that the town crier was talking about, they're okay. They're not bad.
the bunnies are good.
Bunnies are good.
They make me sneeze, but yes, they're good. They're harmless.
She kind of smiles and says, "That's good because I've never heard of bad bunnies before."
Well, the town crier said something about like a demon or something. There was no demon, just bunnies.
Well, that's good to know. Demons are never good as far as I know.
Yes.
I could be mistaken, but from my vast knowledge of demons, they've found that they are usually really evil and bunnies are usually really good. And when I say vast knowledge, I mean actually like none at all. But that's what I've heard.
Well, did you hear the whole story that the town crier said about the lady in the stall?
I haven't heard much from the town crier for a long time, actually. I've been busy working.
Well,
Okay.
you can let all the guards know that story's all wrong. I won't tell you how we know, but we know.
Okay.
Mostly he has a couple as pets. Or at least one.
She looks at you and goes, "Oh,
It was hard to catch.
Mm-hmm.
yours was particularly hard to catch, actually." Okay, so you make it to the market. She goes, "Okay, walk me through it, Master Reed."
All right, can I remember these alleyways pretty well, or is it
Yeah.
okay? So
Is the ice still there?
Yeah, there's actually still started to melt a fair amount, but there's still, it's still an obstruction. I mean, it
Okay,
before it was like 3/4 of the entrance to the alley was filled. Now it's probably like 1/4 of the entrance, and there's large slushy puddles around it.
All right. Well, I don't want to go down by the ice because that was kind of the opposite way from the. So like, we go down that main road, and I would assume we went south to get to the colonnade, right? So we're coming up north now.
Southeast.
Sound right?
You went southeast
Okay.
to get to the colonnade. So you make it into the market from the southeast corner.
Okay. So what I want to do is point. I'll point down that road where the alley where the ice was. I
She
don't know
goes,
if you can see
"Whoa!
it from
What?
here or
What?
not.
What? You didn't say anything about this. Where'd that come from?"
The gobnappers had magic.
Oh, it was either that or Butt Trumpet may have tried to stop them from grabbing them and missed.
Oh, that's true. Butt Trumpet knows a little
We
bit.
don't, not 100% sure. It could have gone either way. The kidnappers could have done that as well. I'm now remembering that Gaius was wheezing in the back. This is more speculation, so Reed, continue the story.
You see,
Yeah, so
Iron Will just
We-
kind
we-
of shakes her head and says, "This story just keeps getting more fantastic as we go along." Whoa! And
We
she
were-
says, "It's a little bunny kind of." She almost steps on and runs down another alley. Yeah, I see what you mean. Anyway, I'm sorry, Master Reed. You were saying.
We were on the other side of that ice.
Okay, why don't we go around to
Hey.
the other?
Well, that was where the chase started. They
Okay.
came this way and then crossed over the market here and went down
Okay.
this alley over here. And I could show you where I last saw them.
She goes, "Okay, just a moment," and she looks at the ice. She goes, "Where exactly did our little friend get taken or gobnapped, as you say?"
Back towards
Is it
one of
easy
the
to get over the
stalls.
ice now?
Hmm?
Yeah. Is
Okay.
it easy to get over the ice now?
No, it's still going to be a little bit of a pain in the butt to do so.
No.
It's just nowhere near what you went through to get over it. Because whereas it was used to be like 3/4 of the alley, the entrance was filled. Now only like 1/4 of it.
Okay.
So it's over your head, Reed, but probably at head level for Nikita.
Okay.
Okay? So Iron Will looks to you, Nikita, and says, Where were they actually taken from? What stall?
I point to the stall and say, I heard her shouting,
Okay.
saying, what, and they wasted her.
Give me a history check with advantage, I would say, because I think you probably would remember.
Right.
At least you'd get close, you know what I mean? Yeah, you remember exactly which stall it was, and you're able to point it out. It was a little stall that was selling children's toys.
Okay.
And, Butt Trumpet seemed particularly taken by him and was looking at them, and it stopped. And that's when you heard the hey! So, okay. And Iron Will makes a note of that and says, okay, let's circumvent this ice and snow stuff. Mm-hmm. And we'll go a block over and a block down. So, and Gaius, you notice that you're going pretty much the way that you ended up having to go rather than go over the ice.
Yeah, working around the same way.
Yeah. And so you make it around to the main street and to the other end of this alleyway, that the snow-blocked alleyway, you make it to the other end where it meets this other bigger street. And says, okay, Master Reed, from here, what happened?
Is this where I encountered the guy or no?
Yeah, this is where you were almost came around the corner, but a sword beat your head to it. You ducked.
Okay. So I chased them here. They went around the corner. I didn't see them, and then the bad guy was right behind this wall, and he took a swing at me as I came around the corner, and then we got into a fight. Wasn't there a door nearby that looked like he was kind of guarding, or no?
No, he was
Not
just
really.
standing waiting for you to come around the corner, and Iron Will says, touches the side and says, there's a big chunk out of the stone here, out of the plaster.
That could have been my head.
Yeah, it's right at the level of your neck, actually. So I guess that's
I'm too quick. So.
obviously that's very good, young master. So from here, you chased him to where?
Um,
And as you're
We pretty much
thinking,
fought
she's
here, right?
making notes of the area shops.
didn't we kind of fight in this alley and then?
No,
went back.
you went across the street and down a couple alleyways and about total of like 3 alleys you ended up traversing until you came to
Okay.
it opened up at the final one. So
Okay.
you can
I'll
take
point
her
out those
there and
alleyways.
show her where the
Yeah.
final confrontation took place. Excuse me. And she looks around, notices some of the blood driplets stains on the ground here and there, and says, "Looks like a number of feet have come along since your battle, but huh." Okay, and makes a note, makes some more notes, and it says, "Okay, okay."
Anything you can think of in like right in this area that they might have taken though?
Well, I'm going to have to ask around, and I'm going to do that. And she starts kind of going off, like in the direction that the blood stains seem to go. And she says, "Yeah, a number of feet have come down here already. Interesting." And then takes it out to the main street where Gaius, you actually lost the trail when you looked.
Yeah.
It says, okay. Makes some more notes. And says, okay, I think I have what I need to get started with open up an investigation on this. If you hear of anything, or if you get any sort of communication or anything on someone asking for a ransom or anything, please come to us right away. Let us know.
Will do.
Okay.
So what about the information we should not know about that we will
Says, I'll
know
tell you
about now?
on the way back to the market, and she kind of walks back with you, and then where your confrontation happened, Reed, where the alleys opened up, she stops and turns around and says, "Okay, here's the skinny, and if you ever say I told you, I'll deny it and have you arrested."
Told us
but
what now?
she smiles as she says it. There's a lot of politics involving the Eastern Districts. There's a lot of politics involving a lot of things in this city, unfortunately.
Hating it more already.
And parts of the Eastern Districts we're forbidden from going to. No matter what, just about.
Which ones?
Well, have you heard of the section called the Labyrinth? Okay, well, the nickname is the Lawless Labyrinth, and that's for good reason. For some reason, there's something that goes back to before the Witch Wars that has basically, there was some agreement pre-war that was made, meaning that the guards can no longer ever enter into there.
Interesting.
I don't know anything more than that. It's perplexing and stupid if you ask me, but it is what it is. There's parts of Goblin Town we're forbidden from going into. And from higher up, we've just been basically told to avoid going into the eastern districts, especially like the Slinks and such. We've been just told to avoid it at all. If we don't have to go in there, not to go in there. I don't know if you noticed because you've gone into some of the eastern districts, correct?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You may have noticed that you almost never see a guard when you're over there. Well, that seems to be... There seems to be reasons for that. I'm not exactly sure what they are. But there are sections of the eastern districts that we just don't patrol. But just keep that to yourselves, okay? If that sort of information got out, there'd be mayhem and murder and all sorts. Things would just go... There are gangs in different sections of town that would just take full advantage of that. Some kind of have their suspicions about it, but it's not actually known information. And I'm trusting you to this. If all of a sudden things start breaking out in the eastern districts, I'm going to know where to look. And I don't want to have to do that. So, as far as entrances to the... Pardon?
How long has it been like this that you've been...
It's been off and on, actually. It depends on who's in charge. When Baron McAllister was ruled, we patrolled over there constantly. And things were much better. Correct.
McAllister? Okay.
McAllister, yes. Baron Tiberius McAllister, probably one of the best barons that ever ruled. He was fair. He looked out for his people. I don't know if you had a chance to visit Downwind or Splatterfields or the Savage Gardens, but all of those areas have been rebuilt thanks to McAllister. All of those were made habitable again because of McAllister.
Ah. Okay.
He did a lot for this city, and mostly good. And he took a lot of grief for it from the wealthy and the nobles.
Sorry to hear that.
And so the current one, not so much.
He's only been here about 5 years. Most people will tell you that they want to give him a chance, so no one's really, quote unquote, passed judgment yet, but pretty much everyone has, and it's not usually favorable. I mean, he has his fans, but he also has his detractors. Suffice it to say, a lot of his detractors do come from parts of the eastern districts.
And the fans from the rich.
You catch on fast.
It's a story I am well familiar with.
So...
I got along with Homer.
You met the Baron?
Yeah, we got shit-faced together one night. I had a story about dragons he really wanted to hear.
It's entirely on him.
You can't.
Why does nobody
corroborate
believe
that?
any of these stories? Reed
So
can corroborate
you can't
this.
corroborate that?
I can.
I can
Read.
Absolutely.
Oh, were you there too?
No. Oh,
No, I didn't see it.
Oh.
our wizard friend, he can definitely collaborate because he went up there with me because he had to interact with his... Oh God, what was the guy's name?
Patron.
The other one, the guy. No. The guy who intercedes most of the stuff and probably does more of the real work. God, what was his name? Don't worry, Eldred would
Like
know.
an
He had to
advisor?
interact with him. Yeah, one of those guys. No.
Now, who is this Eldred fellow?
Eldred is the wizard type. You've seen him at least once or twice. Tall in the back, barely says anything, but when it is, it's sarcastic.
I haven't actually heard him speak, I don't think. I have seen
weird.
you had a tall fellow with you. I just never paid much attention to him because he didn't really speak.
Oh, you should have a long conversation with him. I think you'd enjoy each other's company.
Oh, good to know.
Cut from the same cloth almost, I think.
Really tall fellow from good dwarven stock. That's good to know.
Yeah, maybe. Either way, so he accompanied me up there. So yes, he came back up this what seems like another ludicrous story that Gaius has. And yes, I am talking in the third person because I
Did
am
we see
self-aware.
Eldred around? Because this would be the area he was.
And this would be the perfect opportunity for him to pop up. Eldred, back me up.
Nikita,
Nope.
Nikita, give me a investigation check, please.
I'm not going to say anything, but butts
And take it at disadvantage because you're back in the alleyway.
Exactly. So perception.
Investigation at
My
disadvantage.
bad. Investigation disadvantage.
Oh,
Well,
you are
Wasted
100% sure
one.
that you don't see him in these alleys.
damn it. He's probably back at the Stone's Throw already drinking.
She says, Iron Will says, okay. Is there anything else I need to know? And it's before, as far as the entrances to the sewers. Seriously, the one that we can actually access that we know is safe is that one inside, right inside,
Right across the bridge, right?
right inside the galleries.
Galleries.
The galleries is that one residential area right on the other side of where the distilleries are.
Mm-hmm.
It's a low rent but actually pretty nice area that a lot of artists of different types have a tendency to congregate in.
Well, the problem is that part of the sewers we kind of did a lot of. There's certain areas that were cut off either through damage or other obstructions. So if we had other entrances to use, we might get to areas that we weren't able to the last time.
Right. So you
As well?
you covered all of the areas accessible from there?
No. We covered a lot of. I think we still have one, but we're in case. Also, we might want to get out a different way because bad things happen. Knowing where other entrances are might just be helpful,
Right.
as well.
I'll see if I can find anything.
Yeah, I remember the last time we were there. Those giant tentacle-faced bug things.
The crawlers.
What are the crawlers? Yeah.
Oh,
We were unaware of their presence. We defeated one and its nest of whatevers. But there were more, and we weren't necessarily prepared for that. So we didn't investigate in one direction. So we will go back down that way first, but just so we don't have to keep coming back to you and be like, and where do we go now? And where do we go now?
Okay, well, not to be a smartass or
I'm not going to take it that way.
obnoxious or sarcastic, but that actually finding other ways is part of the job of exploration and investigation.
Oh yeah, no, I just
Okay.
didn't know if you guys had additional information. It sounded like you implied that there were others that you just couldn't escort us to.
Correct. There's supposedly more than one in the labyrinth.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
And there are other ones throughout the eastern districts. I just, the ones we know of have been deemed inaccessible because of the shifting ground.
Gotcha.
No,
it's just like it was our mistake then. I guess because we had to do a little talking around the subject, I inferred incorrectly that you knew of locations we could access elsewhere.
We know of locations. They're just not really accessible.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like also accessible and able to use. That's what I was thinking, but apparently I was wrong.
Okay, I will double check to see if I don't go into the eastern districts.
Yes,
and
I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, I don't research it or anything like that, but I will ask around and find out if there are other sewer entrances.
Listen, anything to help us out would be much appreciated.
Oh,
I mean, we just
please,
want to do the job thoroughly.
Yeah, no. I want you to, because I'd love to be able to get some of those children back to their parents. I'd really love to be able to get all of those children back to their parents.
Me too.
But the more time that goes by, I don't know that that's possible.
Very true.
Because, I don't know if something's taken them. I don't know if they're being kidnapped and then sold off and then shipped out or what. So anything's possible.
Yes. Thank you for coming and... Oh, yes, Nikita.
Now that I've made a big deal, but can I try to ask Gaius quietly if we start walking back? I don't want what's-her-butt, Octavia, to hear us. If we should mention Mamulian to her in the disappearance of Butt Trumpet. Or not.
Of Butt Trumpet?
Yeah.
Well, you know what, Nikita? I think I don't always, when I play cards, I don't always show my full hand, because most of the time that's not how the game works. But I know that maybe keeping that back for the time being, seeing what information she does gather for us, and then we can just, it slipped our mind, or maybe it's a piece of information we picked up from somewhere else to share later.
That is what I was thinking.
I like Octavia. I think we can trust her, but also I don't know how far we can trust her yet. I'm still new to town. I've been here a week more than everybody besides Reed and Eldred over there, wherever. And he just gestures off into the crowd somewhere, wherever Eldred is. I'm sure he's back there somewhere. Following me.
I am losing respect for guards that do not do their job, whether or not they're told to do it, based on rituals. So,
shock.
I'm not impressed.
If you want, I also have a pamphlet for that as well.
You carry a lot of paperwork with you. This is weird.
It's one of the things I do.
He's a cleric of bureaucracy.
Yes.
Oh God. Ooh, the darkest of evils.
So between revelry and bureaucracy.
the true lawful evil.
You'll find where there's bureaucracy, there's usually alcoholism.
Mostly to deal with the bureaucracy, yeah. We come to free the bureaucrats from their shackles.
Yeah,
and their shekels.
Shekels, yes. Yes, Cheryl.
Since Mamulian is on the fancy side and he probably has bought his way into people's pockets, we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I am being ultra paranoid, but I'm kind of pissed off. They've basically left the Eastern Districts to rot.
Yes, it's not great. The one person we could probably share some of the information we gathered from that house with, we might want to go see Sparkle Bottom.
Sparkle
Yeah, is that the name? I thought it was Sparkle Bottom.
No, you're right. I'm being silly.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, I mean, to be quite honest, it's a freaking silly name.
Gnomes, man, what do you do?
Listen, I'm just a country cleric. Well, there's a lot of things that are strange in this place that I don't like. I don't like change.
I've seen people come and go. That's your name? Great. Okay.
The horses sound weird. There's not enough wine.
There's never enough wine.
The place stinks.
They let it stink. I don't give a shit that the former Baron did a fucking, I built some houses. They still let it stink and people just... How many fucking bodies did we see? I'm going to go on a rant. How many fucking bodies did we see? And they're like, people are disappeared? Fuck you. Sorry.
Reed looks over his shoulder walking. Like,
Octavia stops and looks over her shoulder as she and Reed are walking towards the street.
Guys, it's just like, I got this.
Says, okay.
She's having a moment. Don't worry. Octavia, you're doing a fantastic job. You're one of my friends. Ignore the ranting.
Oh.
She doesn't like rich people, and it's starting to come out, I think.
Octavia looks at you, Nikita, and says, I only make an officer's salary. I'm not rich.
She's not talking about you.
Oh, the two of you. Oh, please. Looks to you, Reed, and says, come on, we better hurry up a little bit, and kind of trots on forward with Reed towards the street.
Yeah, let her misunderstand whatever that was. I don't actually understand what she was saying about. Anyway, I got you. Yeah, rich people are the worst. Until I have money, and then they'll probably be better. If I ever have money.
Or at least more modest.
Humble. They'll become more
there
humble.
You go.
But no, the system here is a little fucked up.
It's a system everywhere that I hoped was different. I hoped to get away from. Is why
you never know. We might find better accommodations in a place like Grognard. Probably not. Amity was nice though.
Very Grognard.
Little town I stayed in for a bit. It was nice. Amity. Technically, the mayor was also my boss and the innkeeper and head farmer, and he might have been kind of like a dictator, but he was a really nice dictator.
My father would joke that it was the benevolent dictator is the best for a leader.
Well, I mean, they are the most efficient. I wouldn't necessarily call them the best.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, politics aside, we continue back to the colonnade.
Okay, well, you make it back into the main road, and you see Reed and Octavia just kind of standing there. Reed's kind of looking around, and Octavia's kind of making notes, and says, are the two of you good?
All better now.
Better. Thank you.
The rage is abiding.
Yes.
It's not gone. It's just gone away for a little bit.
Okay, well, I'm going to start asking around some questions and go to one of the local guard posts and get some help to kind of spread out a little bit and do some more questioning.
Okay.
Is there anything else we need to discuss before I go? Did you remember anything or forget to tell me anything? Looking at you, Gaius, like...
Oh. No, we'll be heading to the Stone's Throw to rest and recuperate from
And where is
stuff. Oh, library district, and he kind of like from where he's standing is like
Okay.
gives kind of like general directions to the.
I can find it now. I know what district it's in. Okay.
Gotcha. Okay.
She goes, I'm going to go about and start things, and walks by you, Gaius, in her way exiting, and says, I don't know what you did, but I really would buy her a really nice dinner. And then she just continues on.
Whatever.
Wow. There's misreading a situation, and then there's...
And Gaius just looks off into this and be like, what the hell does she mean buy her a nice dinner for? I'm not rich.
Nah.
Then he gets it, he's like, oh no.
I'm assuming I didn't catch any of it, and I'm like, whatever.
That's not what was implied. Whatever. I don't care anymore. I'm so tired. Let's go to Stone's Throw.
Nikita.
We find... Nah.
As you're kind of looking around and watching things, about a block down and across on the other side of the street, you see Eldred talking to a shopkeeper.
Gaius, poke, poke, poke. There's Eldred.
Huh? Oh, good. Wander on over to him. Won't interrupt his conversation with the shopkeeper.
Okay.
Wait till he's done.
What kind of shop is it?
A haberdashery.
It just looks to be like textiles and such. Fabrics.
Yeah.
And Eldred sees you and says, turns to the person and says, thank you very much, sir. Really appreciate your help. Have a good day. And the person just nods and says, glad I could help. And goes back into his shop. And Eldred goes, had a couple people see the one run down this way. A lot of people saw you, Reed, running after the other one, thought you were robbing him, and he was trying to get away from you.
That is some negative halfling talk.
Had to correct that, although I don't know how good I did. As far as... Quite interesting. A lot of people didn't realize it was actually a living thing that the person was carrying for some reason. Thought it was a bundle of blue sacks or something. But one person did see it wiggling and making noise, and saw them run through a shop over here, and points to a shop. I have not gone there yet. I was about to, but I wasn't sure exactly how to approach that yet.
Well, good news. We're here. The Octavia is here. You've met her once or twice.
Oh, she walked off actually, because
Well, no. I was telling Eldred this. I'm like,
okay.
Octavia. Octavia's gathering some of the guardsmen from the area, and I believe is going to start questioning some more people around here. So if you want, we can go and try to see what we can see over there.
Okay.
With your tip. I believe we should do it stealthy-like.
Okay.
Ooh,
that's not my forte. We should leave that to the thief.
Uh-huh.
I could do that.
It could also be a good distraction. I go in, make some noise and shit, and then you guys look around.
Can you disguise yourself?
You don't have to.
If there's bad guys in there, they might recognize you, though.
Or you.
Well, let's see what we see. Like,
I'm gonna be
well,
sneaky.
right now, yeah. Well, luckily right now, because of the moratorium on heavy armor, I'm currently not equipped in splint mail walking around the Western District. So I'm not as bad at sneaking as I normally am.
Eldred says, I just wasn't sure how to approach it. But maybe just one of us that they might not be familiar with should just go in and look around and get the feel of the place. And if you get a good feel, maybe ask.
Then definitely not Reed. You did stab a couple of them? Or just one?
Maybe. Just one, I think.
Okay. Nikita, did they see you at all?
I don't think so. I ran as fast as I could, which is not very. So
I was not in a sprinting mood earlier, so yes, no. I mean, any of the three of us could go in, except I don't think Reed should, sadly.
the one sneaksy,
Yeah.
What kind of place is it, Paul? Is it like a stall or is it like a building?
It's an actual shop on the street.
Maybe Reed could watch the back, make sure nobody runs out the back.
That's what I was thinking.
That's not a bad idea. What kind of is there any indication of what kind of shop it is? Is it a?
Yes.
Does it have a sign? Or
Yes, it does.
title?
It has a sign hanging out over the door.
What does it say?
We can see it, or
It says Baswell's Locks and Securities.
Okay. Does anyone know anything about locks or securities? Otherwise, we're just going to have to bullshit our way in.
I can pick them.
bullshit it is, I think.
Yeah, once again, you can't go in.
I'm listening.
All right, well, screw it. I guess I'll go in. Maybe one of us should stick with Reed if he's going to go around back.
I will.
'Cause
I don't run.
Eldred says that narrows it down. If you're going in.
Bacchus forbid he gets kidnapped again.
And then there were three.
Yes.
Eldred says, that's a very good point. There's your people who hang around you, there's a bad habit of them disappearing, isn't there?
No, it's whenever they leave my sight when they disappear.
Not quite sure of the difference there, but okay.
Eldred, you've been here this entire time.
That's right.
You
I
haven't
never
left.
disappear. I'm stuck with you.
you turn
disappears a lot.
invisible. Yeah.
I don't know
come
what
back.
you're talking about. I just...
Sneakiest damn wizard.
I'm just the thinnest of all of you, and you're jealous.
Jealous. Thin.
You can't stop a strong breeze. I'm not jealous.
Okay.
Okay, so who's going to go around back?
I will with Reed.
I will.
Okay. Eldred, you're with me then. Let's go.
Well, I'm
say
going in
hello
too?
Well, or watch the front door, whatever you feel like doing, Eldred.
I'll watch the... I've been walking around, so if they've seen me asking questions, me just standing out across the street watching to make sure, keep my eye open might be the smartest way to go in. I mean,
Gotcha.
we don't know. They might not know anything.
Yeah.
But,
All right. Gaius goes wandering over to the locksmith.
okay.
The
And the two of you go around back?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Basically, you go back around and there's... the back end opens up it's an alley. You have to go down a side street and then down an alley behind a bunch of the shops. The alley's probably wide enough for a cart to get down, but little more. Okay. Fair amount of garbage back there. Reed, give me a perception check.
Alrighty.
Can I attempt to back him up, or should I not bother?
You don't even need to. And we'll say that both of you have noticed, you notice a number of bunnies back there of all different colors and styles, just kind of rooting around the garbage, sitting on top of crates, just all of them just kind of watching you go by.
Awesome. I try to pet a few.
Give me a roll.
Just a D20?
Yeah.
15.
The one that seems to be nibbling on something lets you pet it.
I wish I could take you home, but I can't right now. I already have too many buddies to take care of.
It looks up at you and kind of just nuzzles. It wiggles its thing and... Okay. Reed and Nikita, take off your headphones and earbuds, please.
Nikita.
Okay, guys, you go in the front door.
Yes, sir.
It's a pretty clear aisle down the center. There's counters on both sides. You see a guy behind one. There's a young boy next to him, kind of with a brush cleaning something that looks like some sort of box, strong box. There's a really old gentleman on the other side who has some tools and glasses with what looks like an additional lens on the one who's kind of working on what looks like a really large old-fashioned padlock. And then it goes back and there's another counter in the back with the gate open that goes into the back part of the shop.
Okay, so we got the locksmith, a boy, and another gentleman. Does it look like the proprietor, or is it a customer?
Both of them look like they're with the shop. You have no idea if either of them are the proprietor or just employees or what, but no one else in the shop at this time.
So since the kidnapping, it's been approximately 3 hours, Paul?
Roughly, yeah.
That's in roughly 3 hours? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And so it's getting near the end of the business day, probably.
Yeah. Going to approach the man and boy. Not going to bother the gentleman tinkering at the lock.
Okay.
Excuse me. Do either of you two work here? Both of you? Proprietor?
The older guy says, "Why, yes, can I help you?" And you see the boy kind of look up and looks at you and goes back to, his eyes are on you. He continues to, you see it's like a wire brush that he's taking tarnish off some hinges and a lock of a strong box.
Well, I certainly hope so. Was anyone here in the shop approximately 3 hours ago?
Yeah.
And I'm looking to see if there's any kind of shift in their faces as I say that out loud, like if they're going to try and hide something.
Give me an insight check, please.
Yep.
Okay.
Gaius, cop mode, activate.
The older guy's eyes shift a little bit and says, he seems taken aback by the question, but he kind of covers it pretty well, but you can tell that he was a little taken aback by it. Whereas the kid immediately kind of looks up at him and goes, but the guy says, it's a place of business. We have to be open. Otherwise, we might, our customers might not be able to find us.
Excellent. So, Did you know the person that came through your shop with the kidnapped goblet that ran through your store approximately 3 hours ago?
The guy seems a little taken aback and says, you know, but the boy, his eyes go wide, and he's like, the boy goes, kidnapped? And the hand from the guy, just as quick as can be, goes across the face and slaps him. A boy just kind of puts his head down and goes back. And he says,
touch the child like that again, and I'll be backhanding you. You may do that. You may do that when I'm not around, but you don't hurt children in my presence. And at which point, guys reaches in and takes the writ with the seal from the guard. I'm working with the guard, and they're currently also investigating this. So if you don't want a bunch of guards people tearing apart everything, talk to me first.
The guy initially says, I think it's time for you to, and you do that, and he looks at it, and as you say that, the old man from across the aisle, his eyes go up and he stops doing what he's doing. And the guy just kind of looks at you and says, boy, go in the back. And the boy kind of rushes off.
Gentlemen, I just want some information. And then I go away. But someone I know was kidnapped and taken through your store, and you know more than you're letting on.
The guy says, look, I don't know anything about any kidnapping. I do know someone ran through here awfully quick and ran out the back door. We don't, you know, that's not something that we take too kindly to.
I figured that. That's why I was hoping. You see, when you say that, if you just said, yeah, no, they did, but you held back for some reason. Why? Why did you hold information? And listen, I don't want to give you any trouble, but the problem is trouble found me, and it took me here. So just tell me what you know. Go away.
I'm telling you what I know. Someone ran through my shop earlier today.
Then why did you hold that information back?
Because people who do that sort of thing aren't usually law-abiding citizens, and we're a law-abiding business. And I want nothing to do with the wrong side of the law. I've got enough to do with my shop without having to deal with that sort of reputation.
Exactly. No one wants the locksmithy where they get their locks to be associated with criminals, which would happen if we didn't get the information. So once again, if you have anything, I'm trying to stop that from happening.
The old man from across the aisle behind you says, I don't know what you're implying there, young man, but we've actually worked with the guards to help them on a number of occasions.
Perfect. And that's all I'm asking for. I'm just making sure nothing's being hidden from me. I'm just being diligent. I don't want to imply anything. It just would look bad if the guard came in here and started asking people. So I came in.
Well, I'll tell you what, says the old man. I don't know who you are. I've never seen you before, and we've worked with the guards for years. You can have a piece of paper, and that's all well and good. You keep that tied to your vest there. But, yeah, if the guards want to come and talk to us, they can come and talk to us. But, you know, my young man here, my son here, has told you what he knows. We both know the exact same thing. Some young whippersnapper came rushing through here with something rubbling around in under his arm and went out the back door. Let it slam almost off the hinges, but that's all we know. He never stopped to order anything, didn't bring us a pizza or nothing, just went in and came back out the back door.
Anyway, I wasn't, once again, I just wanted to be sure. So did either of you get a good look at the individual?
I know I got a good look at his back end.
Mm-hmm. I'm more concerned with the front face part.
Hey, he was past me by the time I was able to lift my head, and
Understood.
The son across the way says about the same here. He was probably 3 to 4 feet tall and wearing a cloak. And
3 to 4 feet tall. Okay,
3 to 4 feet tall.
So okay, not human. See, these are the details I was hoping to get from you. I may have come across a little harsh, and I apologize. It's just this is a friend of mine that was specifically taken, and I have concern because they are an innocent, basically.
The guy who was next to the kid says, "Does your friend have little blue feet?"
Yes, they do.
He was with him.
That's okay.
That's all I saw were the feet, but I saw those.
Basically, trying to follow the trail, but you gave me a good piece of information. 3 to 4 feet. Skin tone. Did you see? You saw the blue feet, but what about the person carrying?
Big cloak. That's all I saw. Cloak? Hood.
Okay.
And while the hood flew back, there was like a hat or something.
Oh, wore a hat. Okay. Yeah. What color hat? If
dark.
A dark hat.
By the time the thing flew back, that's all I saw was dark.
Hat, cloak. Colors, was there anything that stood out besides it was just gray. Dark stuff?
Gray.
Dark gray. Okay. I mean, this definitely helps me up. Thank you. Appreciably. I know Octavia and some of the guards are going to probably be talking to some people. So they might stop by and corroborate that what I was doing here was just trying to find additional information. If I see them beforehand, I'll let them know that you cooperated. And told
you do that. I don't know who Octavia is, but
oh, she mainly works down the colonnade, but I think she's going to be finding some guardsmen that work this area in particular to talk to some of the merchants about it. So I just let them know that my name is. You know what? Hi, my name's Gaius, and I'm apparently very rude. And not even introducing myself. I apologize for barging into business, but when friends are stolen from you or kidnapped, it kind of makes me a little aggressive at times. And
I guess it does.
I start to lose my temper a bit, and I apologize.
Well, thank you for saying
so. They ran through the back of the store, slammed the door, and they didn't take anything or anything from you, right? They just...
I haven't noticed anything missing, mister, but now that you mention, we will take a look at the way back room, man.
Okay. Could you escort me through the back and out the back door so I can see if I see anything that person might have dropped? Is that okay?
The guy looks to the old man. The old man just nods. Takes you through there. You go to the back, you go past the counter, through the opening to the back. It's a small room. You see things on both sides. And as you come through, you see the boy. He was like looking around the corner and immediately starts kind of like going like, looks like he's trying to clean something off. But constantly looking up at you as you go by. And the guy walks you to the back door that's at the back of that. It's a light door with another door on the other side of it that's more secure.
Gotcha.
That's open all the way and being held open with a crate.
Okay. Okay, so came through here. I'm assuming you followed him.
I just ran back to make sure he was out of the shop. I didn't go anywhere after that.
Well, no, I meant like you I meant you like followed him through the back of your shop and I assume closed the door and all that kind of stuff. I'm just seeing if you noticed that, like, if he touched anything or moved or, you know, his cloak got caught on something and ripped, that kind of little things like that.
Turns to the boy, goes, anything missing back here? Boy goes, no, Paul, I didn't see anything missing. Okay. He goes, I'll check for myself. And he says, I don't think anything's missing, but, you know.
All right. Just due diligence kind of thing. Could I go out through your back door?
Yes, you can.
All right.
And
Well,
he
thank
goes
you
and
again
opens
for your
it
help.
for you. And you walk out into the back, and there's Reed and Nikita,
Yeah.
who neither of which are paying attention. And as you go out, the guy shuts the door and then goes back in his shop.
Well, good news. This is following along the path. And also, guys, just Eldred, we're out back. So basically, they just what? No, they just the kidnapper just made a cut through the shop. So it
Reed,
wasn't.
What looks like what must have happened was they came out of the other end of the alley with the ice at the one end. Went left when they hit the street. The one guy waited there at the corner for you to come around, and the other one went dashing into this shop, which is like 3 doors down from the alley.
With Butt Trumpet?
With Butt Trumpet.
Yeah.
And then once you came around the corner and he didn't get you, he ran across the street and down another alley.
Yeah, so one acted as a distraction, apparently, and this is the path that the one that was carrying Butt Trumpet went. So this is where last known sight from a witness that we have so far is here in this back alley.
By the way, do you see all the bunnies in this alley?
I've kind of just put on blinders to that.
Guys, give me a perception check, please.
Ooh.
Now that
Yeah.
you look,
I see all of the bunnies.
they're like everywhere. There's tons of bunnies back here eating things out of the trash, sitting up on crates, sitting behind crates, in between crates.
on the tops of buildings looking down.
Filing their nails.
About how
This would
far
be-
are we from the stone's throw? Like, could I come
45
back
minutes?
here and like feed them reasonably?
You could. It's the stone's throw is about an hour away.
I mean, this alley could be like our bunny sanctuary.
I don't think you know what sanctuaries mean.
Well,
And also, also, there's a creepy amount of bunnies here. Like, an unsettling amount of
Must
bunnies?
mean there's no cats here.
Did the bunnies eat all the cats? Are bunnies omnivores? I don't actually know this.
No, I don't think so.
You notice some of these bunnies have like doubled in size, kind of the way
Oh no.
Reed's did when he fell asleep and left it to eat the food on the table.
Oh.
Of which there was a significant amount of meat on that table. So
Oh, okay.
Oh crap.
Yep.
Have I noticed a
Giant-
lack of cats and other animals? I mean, if I got to murder a bunch of giant bunnies, I'm going to feel a little bad about it.
Don't do that
But
to
I'm
us, Paul.
also, but I'm also not going to
Reed
die to
looks at you
giant
very
bunnies.
sadly and is like, "There's, you know."
I will do what must
Maybe
be
we could
done.
put them out to pasture with the horses.
Or we could
See
ride
who
them.
wins between the bunnies and the horses.
Why would you
bunnies?
feed horses to bunnies?
Whoa.
All of these are just awful ideas.
Battle bunnies is not a
I
bad
was
idea.
joking, but then I thought it would be a weird.
Battle bunnies are fine. I'm okay with that concept. Riding them into battle. All right, you know what I need now? I need a drink. Eldred, where are you at?
You're still in the back alley. Dude doesn't seem to hear you.
All right, we go around front to meet with Eldred and relay the
In all
information that we
seriousness-
were given.
Yeah, in all seriousness, as we walk around the front, so this is kind of a dead end? We lose the trail here? Is that what?
Well, some other people might have witnessed different parts of the journey. So that's why we went with the guards, because they can talk to more people than we can, and potentially, then they know the people here. We're just a bunch of strangers. So they could potentially know some people to talk to that we're not aware of, who might know people who are into kidnapping goblins, or goblets in this case. But we also had a trying experience. Reed, you are still kind of messed up from all the shenanigans we had at the house.
A little. I mean, my head feels better now that we're out of there.
Yeah,
Which is good.
That's good. Yeah, that's also good. So we rejoin with Eldred. So
Okay,
is he
he's
out,
at the
out
front of the shop, and
Okay. Relay the information we have to Eldred. Bud, are you going to keep asking around here for a little while more, or do you want to head back to the Stone's Throw?
probably good to head back because it's the end of the business day, right?
Yeah. Just, the proprietor I was talking to is talking about closing up pretty much right now. So, which, by the way, they're good people, the locksmith, so we could trust them, I guess, to a certain extent with the veracity of their claims.
Oh, good.
But I'm hoping that the guard can find some more witnesses. I mean, you did good finding like the path that they took, but they came out of a back alley, and unless there was like maybe a homeless person or something in the alley and saw, no, I can't talk with animals, so I can't interrogate any of the bunnies, sadly, on the location, because they definitely saw something, I'm sure.
Unless, of course, the bunnies ate the homeless person, which is just silly because rabbits are herbivores. So,
we're not sure about magic bunnies, bud.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Have you noticed that there's not a lot of rats or cats recently?
I try not to think about that, actually. I don't like cats that
just
often.
kind of
I don't really like animals that are more arrogant than me, and definitely don't like ones that are more arrogant than you.
Wow, arrogant. What are you talking about? You're the arrogant one. I'm the humble one. That's how this dichotomy works. Yeah.
Right.
The odd couple here.
And I'm the cleric and you're the wizard. We know how this works.
Well, then I'll have my spell book now, please.
There you go. I believe it's in the bottom of that mug you're drinking from.
Reed looks at Nikita. Wizard jokes. I don't get them.
I wouldn't even try. They're just, I don't know. What was the name of that gnome who could talk into Butt Trumpet's head?
Reed, that's your friend.
Goes, you need to learn to speak a little faster there, Nikita. I was really wondering where you were going with that.
Sorry. Not my native language.
Hey, listen, don't take their shit. You're doing fine. Just a bunch of smartasses we're working
Eldred
with.
looks at you and says, that's right. Make sure you don't take his shit. Oh, sorry.
At this point, it's like a circular firing squad.
Yeah, just... as we're having this conversation, we're heading back to the Stone's Throw.
No problem. Takes you a little over an hour. During which Eldred says, yeah, it's probably best that I have a drink anyway, because A, I need a drink, but also, from my experience, nothing pisses somebody off more than you asking them questions that they find meaningless when they're trying to close up shop and trying to get out of there and get home to their family.
Is it about that time, or should we hang around and keep an eye on him?
Keep an eye on who?
The shopkeeper.
Oh.
Paul, the shop itself.
Yes.
Is it a 2-3 story affair?
Mm-hmm.
So I get the rewind in mind. Guys is going to think about it and assume that like the upper levels of the shop are where the shopkeepers live and stuff like that. That's generally how a lot of these places have been like here in the market, right?
Well, this is like a block off of the market.
Gotcha.
A block,
but
block off the market.
But a lot of the stores here in this city, that's generally how most of the layout's gone.
There's usually shops on the first level. Sometimes the shops also take up part of the second level. If there's a third level, it could be part of the shop. You're not sure, but there are cases where the shop takes up the first level, and there's a separate stairway that leads upwards to places that are rented out to other people.
Yeah. So we could certainly wait to see if they leave if you'd like. I got the impression that that was also a home because it was a family business. Grandfather, father, and son all were working there right when I was in there. So, I mean, we could, if we want to. We can also just come and double check later as well. I mean, if we want to wait, we can. I guess I'll leave that up to you guys. I didn't get the impression that we need to because they made references to working with the guard in the past. So they seem trustworthy enough to me.
Okay.
If you want, you can. I'm not going to say no. But these people seem on the level.
I could try and climb up and look in the windows of the upper floor.
It's broad daylight?
Well, not right now. I mean, later or out back. You know.
I mean,
no. Okay.
You could. You can if you want. I'm not going to stop you. It's a good pitch.
It sounded like somebody wanted to know what was in there. I could take a peek. I'm just saying.
You know what? Maybe later.
Okay.
I also don't want you arrested for breaking into the locksmith's house. / play. Also, he's a locksmith, so I imagine like it's going to be really annoying getting in there for some reason. But yeah, no, not a bad idea if it turns out that when we go talk to the guard next, we can ask if they had worked with them before, and if that, then we know they're liars, so that we'll check to see what else they were lying about. That's easily checked with. So, stone's throw. Got to go to the back door though, because we've reeked to high heavens.
Oh yeah, back time.
Someone roll me a 20-sider, please.
The DM casts
I'll do it this time.
So.
The DM casts horrifying image.
Ooh, come on now. That's just rough, man.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
Okay. You make it back to the stone's throw in about an hour. Head to the back door. You see one of a familiar face inside in the kitchen. And it's an older woman. She goes, it's the Stinky Gang. You guys got it. I'll set it up for you.
Yeah, that's not the name we're going to go by. Also, we need a name for the group.
We could be the Stinky Heroes.
No. I'm just going to...
No?
No. I'm going to use my vote to quash that.
Eldred goes, how about Stinky Heroes in Trouble?
I'm revoking your ability to make pitches.
I think it's very fitting.
Wait, we're in trouble?
I see where you're going with that, Eldred.
He just winks at you and says, you always were the smartest in the group.
Fine, I'll go.
So in the back alley, you see the old woman and a boy bring out 2 large wash tubs that you've become quite familiar with.
Intimate with.
And, she says, just let me get the water heated up and we'll get you started. And then you see Betty come around and goes, "Ah, tub time." So points to you, Gaius, and says, "I'll get you ale or whiskey for your tub."
Yes.
Okay.
Yes
Master
to
Reed.
both. Thank you.
Are we bathing in it?
Not that.
I've heard the ale could be good for your hair. Other than that, I would not recommend it.
I've never had an ale bath.
That seems
I'll
like
take it
something that seems A, decadent to the point that the rich people would do it, and B, very sticky afterwards.
Betty looks at you and says, "Well, Master Reed, with this crowd that you truck with, I wouldn't be surprised, quite frankly. I think it's only a matter of time. But we only have water for the baths and soap. I meant to
those.
go along so that you could enjoy it while you were bathing."
Okay, definitely ale then.
Okay.
A bathtub beer.
Bathtub beer. There you go. And Miss Nikita, I will. I'll. Do you want me to bring you something out while you wait?
No, that is okay. I'm good for
Okay.
now.
Then once it's your turn, would you like? Would you like your something then, or not at all?
I'll let you know. Thank you.
Okay. And Eldred says, "When it's my turn, I'll have what the father's having."
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Which
Papa.
part it's like, yeah, whatever. When you hear you say, he drops the whiskey shooter in the beer and just downs them both together. And it's like, oh, please
Guys,
stop
while
with
we-
that.
Betty takes it and goes, "Another one coming right up." Okay.
Yeah.
Betty, could I speak with Butterbeer? I know you don't want me to come in. Could you come
Sure.
out?
Sure. She goes and she calls out, "Papa needs a new set of brews."
Ay, son of a.
Guys, while we're in the tub, I could ask you more questions and see if you remember anything.
Certainly. Go right ahead.
They start filling up the tubs with big kettles and pots.
Mm-hmm.
Steaming kettles and pots. And after a while, Butterbeer comes out, he's wiping his hands on a rag, and says, "It's the dinner rush. Is everything okay?"
Yeah. Could I ask you a couple questions? Maybe off the record?
Can it wait till after the dinner rush? Or is it like really an emergency right now?
Kind of a right now thing. Super
Okay,
quick.
I'm all ears. What do you need?
Where is Mamulian's tower?
What's a mammalian?
One of the casters, like that Alistair person. Do you know any of the
I've heard of Alistair. Alistair's well known in this city. I've never heard of a mammalian.
You have heard then Alistair's tower exploded?
Town criers were talking about it for days.
One of his main rivals was Mamulian. Mamulian used to own Butt Trumpet, who is now missing.
The little
Do
blue,
you think we
the
could...
little blue person?
Yeah, them. Could you use your network to find Mamulian? Or at least the
I'll
tower?
ask about. I will. I'll do that. Absolutely. If it's going to help your little blue friend, I will absolutely help. They're a real sweetheart.
Spasiba. We'd also like to get a message to a Bartleby Nickleby, also a caster little gnome fellow.
No. I've heard of Mr. Nickleby. Don't
He
know him,
knows
but I've heard of him.
He knows Butt Trumpet. He might be able to contact her.
Okay.
If we could let him know.
Okay. I can't do it until after the dinner rush, but I can work on that too.
I forgot
Anything
about our
else?
weirdly
Is
connected
anybody else
bartender.
missing? I mean, is there anything else I need to know?
Have you seen Kellen,
No.
our other halfling friend?
No.
We lost him. Maybe, possibly. If he shows up again, Just let him know we miss him.
Okay.
We'll be here.
I'll get the stuff out of his room, put it in storage, and if he comes back, we'll fix him back up. But in the meantime, I might rent out the room again. Okay?
Understandable.
Okay. And we're all good, right?
Yep. The guys is just kind of like, I don't know, was I here for this, or did you take that off to the other side, Nikita?
Ideally off to the side, but that's fine if you guys heard it.
Okay.
Okay.
After your baths, you want me to put dinner in for you?
Yep.
Elder says, abso-positively. 2, 4?
Yeah,
Yep,
4.
yep.
Yeah, there's 4 of us.
4,
Yes.
all the way around? You got it.
Mm-hmm.
Turns around, walks around. You hear him say, when they're done, give them the specials all the way around. And you hear the door slam as he goes back out. And at the exact same time, Betty comes back with another whiskey and tall ale for Gaius.
Excellent.
And hands the same off to Eldred. So
Can I
right
go
now,
around out? Sorry.
Go ahead.
If I could go around out front and look for any guards.
Okay. Perception check. Okay. You see a guard kind of hanging out on a street corner, just kind of keeping an eye out for everything.
All right. Just quickly, I would like to go up and ask. Здравствуйте. Would you happen to know a caster professor type by the name of Mamulian?
By caster, you mean magic?
Da, that finger wiggler. I don't know what you call them. I apologize.
I call them weird, is what I call them. But yeah, the higher ups deal with them a lot. I don't have anything. The only one I know about is Alistair, and that's from the stories.
The stories? What stories is that?
Oh, wow. Well, he's.
Can I get comfortable? Is this a bad topic?
No, he was a legend. Like he goes back quite a ways. Some say he fought in the witch wars.
You're kidding. They aren't
No, yeah, they say he's supposedly old as dirt.
That is fascinating. I appreciate that. Spasiba. Sorry to bother you.
Give me another perception check. You notice him kind of wiggling his nose a little bit, like, and then you see him looking at the bottom of his shoe and.
No, it's me. It's me. I'm going for a bath. I just had a quick question. I'm sorry.
Oh.
It was in the Eastern Districts.
Oh, wow. So what they say is true, huh?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
Try not to piss off your superior to get sent there, let me tell you.
Oh, you poor thing. Well, good luck.
Yeah, spasiba, you too. До свидания.
As you turn away and walk away, you hear, "Whew!" Make your way back.
Make my way back and see if the baths are available.
Okay, you've each take your baths, and Eldred says, if you don't mind, I'm going to take my bath while the water's still somewhat hot, but I'll face away.
I don't care. Go for it.
Okay. And Eldred turns to the old woman and says, and we could hotten this up a bit. I'd love that too. And says, if you could let the little girl know, I'm ready for another round. And we'll say that all of you get bathed and your drinks, and then you're out in the inn having your dinner. And is there anything you're going to want to do after dinner?
I'm going to take care of the bunnies.
You're going to go up and take care of your bunny single?
Oh, yeah, Cohen's
the bunny.
Here, right.
Right.
Yep.
All the single bunnies, all the single... Anyway.
Oh.
Thank you for that mental image.
Oh, you're so welcome. I was telling you, this bunny has put on a lot of weight, so it's kind of pear-shaped.
Aren't we all?
So, is there anything you'd like to do after dinner? Anything in particular, or are you just going to enjoy dinner and then sit around and have drinks and talk, or just go to bed early or whatever?
Hopefully
Sit
you're
around,
back from
drinks, and
here,
talk.
but sit around. Duh.
Okay. Well, then we will pick that up next session, and we will deal with that at the beginning of next session. And after that session, we will be at PAX Unplugged. But we will air that, Sunday the 12th. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this evening. Let's see what happens with tracking down Butt Trumpet. We'll see what happens with the investigation on the mansion on the beach. And we'll see what else happens when everyone gets together and works with the guards to see what they can find. So tune in next Sunday. Same Grognard time. Same Grognard channel. Same Grognard confusion.
Come around.